Greetings, Patrick here. Welcome to my pop-up. Just doing a little bit of busy work, but I thought I'd come on here because I have seen a lot of people rabble rouse around about the subject of physical media. Doom is gloom, and every other post, it's sort of bait clickish, actually. Especially all it is just their words saying it could happen, it could happen. Well, boys and girls, I'm here to tell you I am not one of those people. And and I wish I wasn't doing this stream, that's for sure. Um it's ironical because when I first talked about physical media, I always thought this company would be the one to save it, not to end it. And unfortunately, it seems to be they are going to be the ones that are going to end it as we know it. Um, hey, Tony. So I just read that Disney is doing just laid off 1,000 people to streamline their organization. And one of the departments that got completely wiped out, I mean, wiped out to the man or woman, is the physical media department. Um, People who promote physical media is responsible for getting that on the shelves, and negotiating shelf space, the whole kit and caboodle, how many they're going to make, the whole kit and caboodle physical media. That the entire department got wiped out, and what it's doing is sending a message out that it looks like Disney is going to be, if not entirely, what sounds like tremendously, that they're getting out of the physical media business. In terms of some of their brand new hits, like limited, sort of like boutique style almost. Let's say they have a slate of 40 movies they release in 2027. We might see physical copies of those out of 15. And out of those 15, they might be treating them like boutique in the matter of how much they print. So there could be and this is hard to imagine for Disney, but Disney could actually get into the only 5,000 copies available and watching that go, because that would set off like wildfire. Maybe if they sell that first 5,000, maybe they sell that first 5,000 out in a week or so, or a day or so, or whatever. Then they make up a second batch. Basically, it's almost like made on demand. But the mid-tier movies and the back catalog that we know it will be gone. They're not going to make any more of those. Once they're done, they're done. And not every new movie will get a new release. Like I said, how they described it was upper tiers will get a limited release, and backlogs will not. That'll be it. I mean, there won't be any more reissuing. Hey Tom. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Hi Mike, how are you, sir? So Disney I just said that Disney has laid off 1,000 of its workers, and including that is the physical media department of Disney. It's gone. All those people lost their jobs. Um, yeah. So the physical media department for Walt Disney is no longer, and it's signaling that Disney is not going to be in the physical media business very much longer. And unfortunately, that's going to trigger everybody else as far as that goes. They're going to be following Disney. And see, it's sort of weird, is because I thought Disney would do the reverse. I thought Disney would bring it back. but I guess not. Um, I just don't. It's hard to imagine. Um, hey, what's going on, Scarecrow? Hey, Steven, how are you? Yeah, man, thanks. Yeah, they all want to push everything to digital. They don't want to pay for warehouses. They don't want to pay for this. They don't want to pay for that. You know, well, the decline in Disney Plus, the decline in streaming services has to you have to look at it objectively. What we think is declining, is it really declining? I mean, when you're declining, it's like a millionaire who has $100 million and he loses $2 million. Wow, he lost $2 million, but he still has 98. You know, um, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, he could take a hit, but he's got a lot more in reserve. I mean, and since the streaming services don't allow or are not required to report their numbers. Like nobody knows how many people signed up to Disney. We only get what they tell us. There's no way for us to tell like how much is Netflix, how many subscribers do they really have. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know the numbers they generate. We don't know anything. They keep that very close to their chest. Um, it would really have to be a massive, I mean, we're talking like overnight, like people just unhooking. Sort of like a massive street protest. Everybody get on their phones and all at once to say, I'm disconnected. And you lose 5 million people out of shot. That's the only way that we're ever going to make noise in terms of streaming services. Their idea of a loss is a lot different from ours. Um, all really all we're doing when we disconnect from streaming services, all we're really affecting is what they make that year. That's it. That's all we do. Instead of spending $120 million on a Walt Disney project because they lost the subscribers, now that budget might be cut to $100 million. So they're still going to do what they're still going to do. It just might be for a little bit less. But as far as going out there and like, oh my gosh, we need to lower back our prices back to when we first started. you know um no, it's far, the genie's way out of the bottle for that. I just don't see that happening, and that's the reason why I think Disney had no problem at all wiping out the physical media department. They the returns, they feel the returns that they're getting for their investment is not making them any enough profit. They're making profit, let me tell you. Even these companies that are, they're circling the drain. They keep on saying we're circling the drain. And the same thing with linear network. Both of them are supposed to be are circling the drain. Yes, somehow they keep chugging along. Morning, Sue. I remember Robert Baker. Sure, the kid stays in the game. Yeah, I heard that's a great book. I know. What was it? The Sony guy was sitting there saying how he wanted more people to go back. He wanted to go to theaters to lower their prices. They wanted to lower their prices to get more people in, to cut ad revenue. How about this? How about making a movie? How about making movies for a lot less cheap, so they can actually afford so they can actually afford to share some screens with other companies. Um, no, no, it's all corporate. It's all corporate. Hollywood as we know it is gone. Hollywood as we know it is gone. I don't that train ain't coming back either. Hey, what's going on, Trenchy? So yeah, so I decided to talk about this because I see a lot of tubers, and I'm not going to single out anybody, but there are a lot of tubers out there that love the clickbait. They love the clickbait. They always come out with all these headliners as physical media dead and and doom and gloom and they're ranting about it. Uh, 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 but there's never really ever been until today. There's never been any company that came out there and sit there and actually say we're done, we're not doing this anymore, um, or they're going to do it very limited. And what's really interesting is now it's just like vinyl records. Now it's going to be all about attrition. It's going to be that's really what it was before too. It's like when movies go out of print and then they make 20,000 copies and over the years it slowly declined. That's the reason why you see a lot of our movies that we or a lot of collectibles any in general, a lot of our collectibles are in demand is because of attrition rates. Every year less and less are on the market, which drives up the price. um I you know what the boutique labels are gonna I think the boutique labels are probably the only ones right now that are celebrating. They're celebrating because they know that's going to make money for them. Uh, but the average the purchase person is not going to buy boutique. It's not buying boutiques today. Only collectors are buying boutiques. That's the truth of the matter. All the people you see out there supporting the boutique labels, they're collectors. That's it. But the average mom and dad that want to go and buy a movie to watch, they're not going to go to the Barnes and Noble and drop $40 on a Criterion to watch. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, of course, we're not going to see the effect of this for probably, years down the line until we start seeing movies that we take for granted, like, and it's already starting to happen. It's already starting to happen. I mean, yeah, people are still scoring, movies and TV shows. They're still scoring them, but there are a few out there that are hard to find. And they just weren't a while ago. I mean, you could walk like I've mentioned this before. And I see there's a lot of stores out there. I see Second of Charles and all these different places out there. Disc Replay or what have you. They have plenty of movies and TV shows, sure, but they're slow. But instead of having like 10 on the shelf, now it's like eight or six. They're still there, but they're not there in the same numbers. It's because they're not being reprinted. I mean, a lot of the boutique label stuff is being reprinted over and over and over, but there are a lot of movies that once they go out of print, that's it for them. Especially now, no one's going to go ahead because, and especially since they're still protected by copyright. I see companies will tell somebody no. Like if somebody wants to come up there and say, "Hey, man, we want to do Friday the 13th box set again," and let's say New Line says no. I mean, we want it out of print. We don't want it out in the circulation anymore because we want those people to go to streaming. If we take the movies off the shelf, then that will force them to go to streaming. We've all known that. We've all talked about that. There's a lot of shows and movies that never even got a VHS release. Yeah, there are a lot. I did not realize how many they were, Tranchy. Um, a website called Cut the Cord, which monitors cable, and they ran an article the Disney news came out this week that they were laying off 1,000 employees, and Cut the Cord. they reported that yesterday. That I saw it today. They reported that the physical department of Walt Disney was at one of those layoffs. The whole damn department, to the last man or woman, is gone. The physical media department is gone. So now, I mean, there are still, I mean, they could do what I don't see this happening. Because I don't see this happening either. I don't see the made on demand either. I don't know. I could be wrong about that. Maybe I am. Maybe they will go to on demand. Like if you want a copy of Cinderella, then you can go down to the website and make it that way. I'm not really sure if Disney will do that, but it won't affect the fact that I'm not even sure it's going to be. It's good. I think they're going to wipe their hands of it. I think they're washing their hands out of it. Okay, there's Tom right there. Tom just thanks Tom for that post. Says here in Brussels, old movie titles are hard to find on DVD. Now, honest to heaven, who would have ever thought that we'd be sitting here in 2026 saying, I have a hard time finding a DVD, but it's happening. It's subtle. You know what I'm saying? It's not overnight. It's not like you wake up overnight and it's like they're all gone. Like me, I noticed it after I came out of the pandemic. Before the pandemic, gosh, I would see so many different types of movies and all the time. I mean, it's just all sorts of variety. Ever since the pandemic ended, you just don't see it anymore. I like to think that people are holding onto their stuff like we do, but I think a lot of it has to do with attrition. I think a lot of people have thrown their shit away. I mean, throw it away. Yes, I remember that, Trenchy. Absolutely. And those are the people that were affected too by the layoff. The people that handle the physical media in different areas, different platforms, different stores, and that monitored how many discs were they needed to print up, and marketing. Still going out there, still marketing that, hey, we're Disney, we're still selling your favorite media. All those people are all gone. They're all gone. Got rid of the $5 bin. Yeah, there's not enough movies to fill it. There's not enough out there to fill it. It's sort of like Dollar Tree, Trenchy. When Dollar Tree were selling all those movies at Dollar Tree, they're selling them, but after a while, they didn't have any left in the warehouse, so to speak. They sold everything they had, everything they got, but it didn't get replaced. And that's really what's same thing with Walmart. It's like, yeah, okay, well, we're gonna make up 10,000 copies for this year, for this fiscal year, and then once they're gone, they're gone. It's a loss leader. The bins that you see, it's called a loss leader in retail. They're there to get you in. They want you to. They get you in. Um, yes, but loss leader, they brought you in uh, to get the movies. But as you walk in, and notice the electronics are always pushed in the back because they want you to go there, get what you need, and as you coming back, make an impulse buy. Oh, I got some new shoes. Oh, hey, there's the $5 bin. And then next thing you know, there you go. Or I'm going to go to the $5 bin, get a movie, and walk out and they say, hey, I need a milk and a loaf of bread. And that's what it's a loss leader. They sell it for less than they're not going to make any profit off of it, but will lead all by itself. But you'll come in and like most people do, they will impulse buy. Yes. So that's going to be very interesting. I It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. And as we've already seen with Shout Factory, they have gone into what the made on demand. That's what Shout Factory's doing too, right? They got rid of their physical buildings, and now they're just doing physical, and now they're doing a made on demand. I know a lot of people that I personally had no problem with made on demand, except that once in a while you will run across, it'll be a pain in the ass that if your disc skips or what have you, you'll have to replace it. Um, yeah, that's gonna be, yeah, that is really of something too, Tom, and Trenchy, is that I'm sure I'm sure that a lot of these actors that are on these movies, I'm sure they're not very happy to hear about that. What do especially since they're not, especially since wait a minute, you're not going to make any more DVDs, so my one source of income, because remember a lot of these players now, uh, they weren't around when streaming started, so their contracts only have broadcast TV and physical media for royalty revenues. Those are going to go away. Those will vanish because no one's buying anything new. And SAG-AFTRA has dropped the ball in terms of getting actors royalties. They still don't get any royalties from streaming. Nope, not one. Yeah, isn't that something? Now, if you buy now, yeah, they might not. No, 9 to 10 inch TV. Yeah, they were made before DVD players. I mean, the only thing I could think you could do is just, try to buy a more modern TV used. Find it. I mean, we've already seen that, and we've already seen the result of, like now, DVD players are, people find them, and I have one of my library buddies, our friend Mark. He went to Salvation Army. He found a DVD player. They're selling it for 25 bucks, and he grabbed it, and he says, okay. Um, it didn't come with a cord. It was like missing a couple cords. He found a couple of cords. He managed to see that it turned on okay. He went to buy it for $25, and the Salvation Army guy stole it from him. Said that that wasn't the right price, and he couldn't sell it to him for that price. And the very next week, my friend who does reselling, he ran across this guy's website, and the DVD player that the worker from Salvation Army, he kept it for himself and ended up selling it for $100 online. How about that shit, Lady Valerie? So we're just talking about we're talking about looks like it truly is going to be the physical media. The physical media is gonna it is gonna die. Um, yeah, it's gonna die. It's dead, and it's still moving. It's like a snake. That's right. Ghost Foot forever. I I was a- I was for that for Mike's stream. I was actually watching a Scream stream. So I had some friends talking about Scream 7, so I hung out and listened to that. Yeah, yeah, it is. Well, the thing is, though, we're losing it, and people are running around, saying that the sky is falling, the sky is falling when it really wasn't. But now they can start running for real. Now they can start running for real because Disney has fired its first shot. And like I said, I thought if anybody was going to bring back physical media, it would have been Disney. It would have been Disney. Um, just for the they always sell. They always sell. All their all Anytime I ever go to a thrift store or a used store or what have you, and I ask you, check this out for yourselves. See how many Disney that you see on the shelves. I mean, quality Disney. I mean, in good shape Disney. You won't find that many. Not as much as you think. It has gotten better, but before the pandemic, before the streaming services took hold, man, talk about trying. I mean, try to find Disney was like pulling a tooth. You just couldn't find it. Hunting for gold because people kept their discs. The only time you ever saw Disney out on at a Goodwill or a thrift shop, or if it was to scratch the shit. It was if that. I mean, you already know. You walk up to somebody's yard sale, you look at it, and go like, "Oh, there's no way it's going to be playable." And you pick it up and look at it, and there's it looks like a cat went like this to it. But now I've gotten so much Disney from going to the library the last 3 years. Pretty much, if anything's out there is Disney, I'm going to run across it, and it's going to be in really good shape. Never used to be like that. Never. One of the most prized horror things you own is the VH box of Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, hold on to that. And people are still trying. I mean, it's not. We still fight against the flood. I mean, it's hard. It's going to be hard to comprehend. I mean, you still walk inside some stores, you still see a few Disneys here and there, but Trenchy mentioned or Tom mentioned that they don't even service some countries anymore. I know they don't. I don't think they service Latin America anymore either. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think they service them. I don't think they get anything new from Disney in the Latin American market or the Australian market, and that's just. I mean, who knows? Who knows where else that Disney has quit selling their films at? We'll be the last one standing, here in America. But I don't know how many other countries are being serviced by Disney, but they're the leader. They go and the thing is with these studios being allowed to merge together, it just means one less, like if you Paramount and Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers I think Warner Brothers still believes in physical media, but if Paramount doesn't, it's not going to happen. Um, it's not going to happen. Everything has changed, Patrick. A young guy watched Space Odyssey on a smartphone and says, seen that, not seen it on a big screen. Yeah, yeah, and it's not capitalism. It's not capitalism either. Capitalism means an open market. We don't have open markets anymore. We have closed markets, and the studios are a prime example of that. It's just controlling what we was, and plus it's controlling what we the narrative they want to tell us. Yeah, the studio should not have been allowed to. The studio should not have been allowed to merge like that. And nobody should own a majority of media stations. And it's horrendously bad. It's going to be almost like owned by the state. Yeah, I think what we do, I think we collect. I do think that people get the right idea behind collecting. You know, a lot of people say it's hoarding. It's not hoarding. It's a comfort. It's a comfort. I mean, some people have collections that are so big, and I might be one of them, that you physically could not watch everything that you own. You just can't do it. People walk out there and say, "I have 2,500 movies." There's no way you're gonna be able, and while maintaining your collection. I mean, if I didn't buy anything else today, starting today, I probably, well, I'm not in some of the range of the bigger collectors, but I have enough here to watch forever and a day. Um, yeah, the gas prices are super high, right? And then here comes this one guy coming up there saying that, I was actually surprised to hear him say this, but one guy from Chevron says, don't drive so much. And I'm just thinking to myself, how about you not charge so much? You know, how about that? If we had our own refineries here in the United States, this wouldn't happen. We don't have any oil refinery anymore. Oil refineries not here. Shipbuilding. America used to be known for shipbuilding. We have no more shipbuilding industry. We have no more shipbuilding industry. It's gone. People don't want to pick up a hammer. They don't want to pick up a trade. The jobs are there. People who sit there and say the jobs aren't there. I mean, if you're young enough and you're hungry enough, they're there. But you're gonna have to sweat for it. But we don't have no more shipbuilding industry. Um, I collect films when I can and I want, but I'm not hardcore. Yeah, I don't. I just think collecting's a weird thing, right? I mean, it really truly is. Um, it's weird. I mean, I I picked up, you know, I picked up series yesterday from my library. My library pool is pretty good, by the way. Um, I pulled that, and but thing is though, like for me, I'm trying to do this. It's like I'm trying to watch one thing that I get on Tuesday. So if I got something yesterday, I'm gonna try to watch it today. One thing. At least I can sort of like justify myself that, okay, you didn't go and get 20 things for nothing. They're just not going to gather dust on the shelf. You're going to wash something out of what you got. And I'm trying to do that. Jason's trying. I just wish he paid more attention to his audience. Instead of running the same old, because Bloomhouse runs a business plan. They do it all the time. They get movies. They get movies for as cheap as they can get. Hey, Eric. They get movies for as cheap as they can get. But you know what? The first half of the year so far, 2026 goes, as far as horror goes. Man, it's been soft. There's nothing really popping other than Scream 7. That's the only major horror movie that's made any noise on the radar. That's really about it. Um, I mean, I wouldn't look at Faces of Death. I mean, wow, that's not a very that movie is only made for like $9 million. That should have, easily done 20 million at the box office, made his money back. But when I looked at it, it hadn't even made half of it back. People were talking about it, but they weren't necessarily going. So we were talking about physical media, Eric. Walt Disney has laid off 1,000 of its workers, including the physical media department. The physical media department is gone. It's signaling to other people that they're going to be getting out of the physical media business. They will be going strictly and fully to digital. There will be extremely limited releases of big movies, like major movies, but past movies, um, and mid-tier movies that don't do very well, they will not get a physical media release. Not a general one. Maybe on demand, maybe, but I don't see that either. That's another thing too. It's you got to keep celebrating the fact that everybody puts in a new movie and not a franchise. Hey Matthew, how are you, sir? Let's see. He says I haven't got any DVDs and Blu-rays for 3 years. I got too many tapes as it is. Yeah, I could understand that. I've been sick of Scream for years. Yeah, and that's I think it's affecting the horror market today. I think when you get yeah, people need a break from it, you know? Like Sarah said in your panel, Eric, she said that they should just leave it alone for 10 to 15 years before revisiting it. I fully agree with that. You need time to recharge your battery. You really truly do. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I was thinking about that too, actually. But you know what? Any bootlegger that and they'll be waiting for them. Now, here's the thing: is they're going to be waiting for them because people are going to want. You can't be a bootlegger and stay that quiet. People are asking for thousands of copies of a movie. You're going to be above the radar. Someone's going to know something. Someone's going to tell somebody, and before you know it, I mean, remember when they first cracked down on bootleggers and people were getting popped for copying and they were getting fined. That happened. People were shocked. They were getting arrested and they were being sued for bootlegging. I know the FBI raided a convention that I went to. They raided it. They raided it for bootlegs, and they shut down dozens of tables, confiscated their media, issued them a summons. In some cases, arrested a couple of people, and yeah, and that's what will happen again. Bootlegging on a small scale might work, but if you're sitting there going like, "Yeah, I'm going to make 20,000 copies of Scream 7, I'll be rich," they're going to find your ass and they're going to RICO your ass. That's why you should need to that's why you need to circle the last Sunday of every month on your calendar, Eric, because you know damn well that we talk about the ISC shows that no one talks about. No one talks about them. We do. We talk about them because we love horror. It is sort of weird though. It is sort of weird to sit there and see people talk about, like Faces of Death and like, wow, they're talking about Faces of Death. That's an ISC movie. Wow, that's so Good Dog. Everybody's talking about Good Dog, and it's like, do you know it's the ISC movie, right? Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm not really. Yeah. I like doing reviews. I like putting them up there and having fun with it, and and you know, I've got some interesting people I'm talking to, but yeah, the passion, I think being subscription frozen for as many times as happened to me, I think that really sucked the joy out of it for me too. I mean, to sit there and know full well that YouTube has purposely not allowed my channel to grow. I think that took a lot of starch out of me. Not that I was looking for the numbers, but the fact of the matter is like there's just too many people here on this platform for people not to get sub to every day. There's somebody looking for something that you're offering. Puppet Master. All right. Puppet Master 2. My favorite one. Charlie Spradling. Damn. Oh, Tom's gonna be doing a watch along. Saucers from outer space. Huh. Where have I heard that saucer word before? Or outer space. All right, have a great lunch, sir. And check out Willie's post too. Cracks me up. Yeah, so that's really the big news. I mean, now we'll have a lot of people out there. Now when they sit there and say, physical media is dying, well, now they can actually, now there actually can be some truth behind that instead of rabble rousing. It's a shame. It's a real shame. I wish there was something. I wish that there was something. Just sucks. YouTube keeps your channel down because you don't talk about the mainstream franchises and such, which really sucks. Yeah, that could be too. That's probably it too, Valerie. Me and Eric we actually talk about that quite a bit. We talk about that because I don't do anything what everybody else does. I mean, I've never reviewed a Scream movie on here. I think I reviewed Halloween, the first one, but a lot of the movies I watch and review, you guys have never heard of. It's like he I sent this out yesterday on my community tab, right? So like last night, oh yeah, I'm talking about physical media. I should tell you about last night. Um, so here we are at 2 a.m. sleeping, and my phone beeps. It has a alarm, so it wakes me up. I'm actually asleep. I just got to sleep, and I'm like, what the hell? I look up there, and there's a damn tornado warning, and I'm going, okay, like what does that mean? So I hit the button, and lo and behold, it says, yeah, the tornado's coming your way. It's right. It's actually crossing over the town where I got Paladin at. and it's coming my way. It's coming right over my town. So I'm like, holy shit. All right. Well, I guess I better, it's saying, get your ass to the basement. If you're seeing this on your mobile phone, get your ass to your basement. So I get up and I get Paladin and we go down to the basement. And I'm sitting there and I'm going like, it's raining like cats and dogs and sheep and ox. And I sent a message to my family on the West Coast. I'm going like, hey, I'm in the basement here. We got a tornado coming this way. Tornado, at least it's capable of a tornado. As a matter of fact, it was a tornado. It hit Ann Arbor, um, did a lot of damage too. It looked like, and then it picked up and came right down our way. Um, but I really wasn't worried because I'm watching Paladin, right? I'm watching Paladin, and he is mellow. He's drinking water. He comes over. He flopped. Got up there, flopped, and he come over and get pets. So I wasn't really too concerned about that because I'm thinking, well, if the tornado was on the ground, he would tell me because the air pressure would change, and he would start crouching, and that's what I knew my ass would be. Like Dorothy. But he was really mellow. Of course, he's fucking fearless anyway. I've never seen a cat as fearless as this one. But I'm not fearless, right? I'm part of me is like, if it wasn't that damn cat here, I'd still be up in my bed, with a sign saying, "Yo, here." Um, but we're down in the basement. I'm sending my message to my brother, and I'm saying, "Hey, man, hang out with me for the next 15, 20 minutes." And yeah, you could hear the wind hitting the house, and the house was creaking. And I'm like, wow, this is really this is something else. Um, this is the third. I've been here in Michigan now. This is my 27th year. The last 3 years, I've had three tornado watches, and the first 24 years, I had one. One. Never had a tornado touchdown. One tornado touchdown, and three warnings the last 3 years. Things are changing. Um, I just don't take what YouTube that seriously. I do it when I want and talk about whatever I want. Yeah, that's the way it should be. Was going to ask you how, or last night we had tornadoes here in Wisconsin. Spent about 2 hours in my basement last night as well. Tornado sirens were going off. I couldn't even hear our tornado siren. That's how loud our storm was. Our tornado siren is a quarter mile. No, it's about a half mile away from me. Couldn't even hear it. Let's see. Even our local news people went into the basement in the station. I've seen that before, Lady Valerie. I've seen that before. There's clips like that all on YouTube where they've had to actually leave on the air because of tornado. And the weather guy's like saying, like, get your ass to the basement now. Like he took over. He took over the station. It's like, is this for real? Yes, get your ass down in the station in the basement. Let's see. I joined the Tremaine Hayhoe stream. All he ever talked about was himself. Yeah. Tremaine's a great guy. He's that's another channel. He's got almost got 7,000 followers, but absolutely zero engagement. Zero engagement. I don't. He must have started his channel years ago, and he didn't do any activity on it, and people just forgot about him. I mean, it looks good. You go to his channel, it says 7,000 on there, but he must not have been really active on it till he is now. So has to work really hard on. He has to work really hard to rebuild his audience. But he's entertaining. Um, yeah, Tremaine is a great guy. He's a good filmmaker too. I've seen two of his movies. Simp, which I thought Simp was badass, and of course he made the Cat Town Story, which is a lovely documentary. And I think I think he's more well known for that damn documentary than anything else. I do. I think people remember him from the documentary, which is I'm not laughing at that, but I'm laughing at it because I think it's joyful. I think it's awesome that people do that because he made a great documentary. Yeah, but he definitely needs to uh, uh maybe rotate some guests on there. Him and his other buddy, they do Friday nights. I'm thinking maybe they should just maybe do an interview. And he'd be a good interview host. But I'm glad you're okay, Lady Valerie. We were there for 30 minutes. Our storm flew over us, and then it hit down river from us and did some damage. But Ann Arbor got popped pretty good. And of course, where do they show the very first picture of Ann Arbor? A trailer getting wiped out by a tree. I'm just like, that's not right. That's just not right. I think that's the only reason why I think that's the only reason why we don't get hit by more tornadoes is that there's not very many trailers here. No one's ever solved that mystery. Uh, yeah, ours was 15 miles away. Fell. The tornado that put me in my basement, it hit down 15 miles away from me. It picked up and then went over us. And then yeah, we got flood up north. The Sheboygan River is flooding. The roads are starting to collapse. But don't worry. The man that President Trump made for to head of FEMA, he's a teleporter. He teleports. So if you're in trouble, don't worry about it because he'll be teleporting his ass to you real soon to help you out. I'm not making that up. He's on record saying that he's a teleporter. Our president. So Val, be careful, because he could teleport next to you anytime. Shit. That's who they put in charge of FEMA. See, Tremaine and I love the car. I told him he could make it. Yeah. Let's see. Tracy, he teleported to a Waffle House at like 3 a.m. or something and didn't know how he got there. uh, they made a movie. They made a couple of movies like that, um, where the car was the star. I think one was with Anthony Hopkins, um, and then they made one based off of Stephen King short story called Monolith. They actually made that for Lifetime. I was shocked. I actually picked up a copy of that as family video. I have that movie. I've actually seen some other people showcase it as well. Um, I tell you what, I got enthusiastic yesterday. Speaking of Disney and physical media, um, I found a Blu-ray copy of Sky High. I have never seen a single copy of that movie and I've been looking. That I look for that. That's one of those ones you keep in the back of your head. I have never seen out in the wild. I have never seen a copy of Sky High in Blu-ray. Hell, I've never even seen it new. um, yeah, we're supposed to have a quiet time, and then it's supposed to start again today. We're supposed to be like getting your type of weather for the next month, Valerie. We're supposed to get tornado weather for the next month. This is the weather we're not used to getting. We don't get this weather here in Michigan. We might get like last night. We might get that once every other, years. I like Zoom too. I thought Zoom was pretty good. Sky High is the shit though. Sky High is the bomb. It's something else. I mean, we've already had so many tornadoes down in this section of our state. We had that one where those 4 people died. We don't get fatalities here. We just don't do it. We don't get the tornadoes, but it's been happening more and more. So I'm definitely I like I have you know I have Paladin's crate downstairs. Um, I'm down in the basement. I got water down there. Have I seen Up and Away? No, no, never. No, I haven't seen that one. Damn. Yeah, they show. I saw that picture. I'm not sure what state it was in, but they showed the water, and the hailstones were hitting the river. It looked like they're dropping. Yeah, people were throwing baseballs. Crazy. 4 tornadoes here in Wisconsin in 2 days. I was watching a couple of storm chasers yesterday on TikTok. They were in Kansas, and yeah, they were watching a supercell starting to rotate. Hmm. See, Up and Away is Disney Channel original movie about a family of superheroes, but one of the kids hasn't got powers. It's good. It sounds like Sky High. There was a series that came out. It came out for 1 year. Boy, I'd like to find it if I could. It came out for 1 year called No Ordinary Family, and it was so much fun. But it only lasted the 1 year. But I've been looking for that series for years and have not been able to see it. Haven't been able to find it. Yeah, see, I don't want to be. I don't want to be. I'm definitely not. But it's sort of like you expect that because they live in Tornado Alley. You and I, we don't live in Tornado Alley, Val. Wisconsin and Michigan, Illinois, we're not Tornado Alley. Excuse me. Yeah, but the Sky High has one secret weapon though, Trenchy. That has one secret weapon that it elevates it from making it great to making it awesome. Mary Elizabeth Winstead. She makes bad look good. But again, it's one of those Disney movies. It's one of those Disney movies that you just don't see anymore. Uh, like wow, it's so rare. I think I got a original copy. Let me see here. I'll show you guys here because I'm gonna be doing this for I'm doing this for Dollar Theater, but I found this at the library. Um, I do believe. it is an original copy. Yeah. I have to change this around a little bit so I can show it to you. Okay, so what are some of your idiot when it comes down to talking about a movie? How do you guys choose what movie to talk about? Like how do you choose it, or how do you like that's really what I'm like if to talk about a movie, whether to do a deep dive on it or to review it or even just to simply watch it. How do you guys do it? Do you have a system on how you pick your movie to watch? Now this is mostly this is for the collectors. I want to see it. I gotta get that movie. I'm gonna break down and actually get that damn movie. Well, if they make a sequel to it, I want it to be Good Cat. You know, I want to see Good Cat. Um, but I think this is the original copy that when Disney put this movie out, and that's The Rocketeer, right? Um, it looks like it's this is the original version of it. Now they remade it. Obviously, they remarketed it and put new cover on it and everything else. But I think this the when they first put it out for the home market. I think this is the one they put out. I could be wrong. See. Originally was what the audience demanded in the past. Nowadays, audiences are lazy. Yeah, they had no attention span. Trenching mentions I have kinds of systems to watch movies, but it's also random in some ways. But my reviews are random unless I request it. Um, yeah, I can't wait to see it. I've never watched it. I've never watched it, and that was during the time. This came out during the time I was really busy. I was doing music, but yeah, I can't wait. So for me, uh, let's see. I can put everything back because this is part of my system. This is part of my system. So I use four DVDs to hold my tripod into place, right? So and on top of it, it's on two books. But I hold four movies underneath my display. Then to my left, I have my main stack, which is about 10 movies. And then over by the front door of the door of my den, I have one movie, and I just keep rotating them through. This is what you've been seeing for Dollar Theater. This is how I figured out how to do Dollar Theater because I just couldn't figure out how to do it. Like, how do I watch? What movies do I watch? And of course, that was being one of the main problems when you went inside Blockbuster or another big video store. Was you get in there, and it's the same problem with streaming. This is the other thing that streaming does too. Um, it's a problem too. Is the fact that um, you get overwhelmed by the choices. Yeah, I'm trying to do some movies now that people had requested. People request stuff like on the off the library hall. Uh I've started to rotate to do that now. I'm like, okay, someone wants to see this. So someone asked me what I thought about The Rocketeer, and I said I hadn't seen it yet. So they said, "Oh, you got to review it." So it's now on the list. So I am going to be reviewing it. I finally did my review uh, uh, of the Cat o' Nine Tails. That was a good movie. I liked that movie a lot. I thought that was pretty damn good. Great mystery. Holy cow! And Argento can do a mystery. Yeah, he did. He did make a cat movie. Yep. Right, right. I'm trying to do that too. It's hard. It's it's hard. It's hard when you see people try to do that when you see it when they show off their collection, and then and it's like or they'll sit there and say, well, what are you gonna review? And man, people have a really hard time because they have so many movies. But as far as the ones that people don't that people don't really ask for, it's like I put yesterday before the tornado hit. Um, I went ahead and I reposted because I saw Final Destination Bloodline. In fact, that is will be the I do believe that will be my next dollar theater. But on the cover of it, it has the tower, right? From the first scene, and it has the tower falling. And looking at that, I was looking at that and going like, let me reshare this with people. So I went to my community tab. Now I'm gonna go to you guys because you guys can check this out too. So I'm sitting there I'm looking at this and going like, this reminds me of something. What does it remind me of? And I'm going like, oh, I know. So, and of course, it was a perfect movie to think about last night with the tornado. Okay, okay, guys. Okay, you guys ready for this one? Now, you guys be nice to me on this because this is actually I actually went back and redid this. This was my second review I ever did on my blog. So there it is right there. So here's what happened. Um, so here I am. I'm on my blog. I want to do something different. Um, I don't want to keep writing about what I'm writing about. So I'm like, what do I do to change it up? What do I do? And so someone suggested I do movie reviews, and I said, okay, that's a good idea because I have gotten this huge ass box in my basement that I don't even know what's in it because I don't know what I watched. Um, there was a time after my wife's passing that I was buying any and every DVD I could get a hold of because I wanted the white noise. I put the movie on, don't watch it, never watched it, but it was different, like it had different noises and different textures. All I know is it kept the house noisy, which I really needed at the time, still do. Um, so, but okay, so I had a ton of movies to go from, and so I went ahead and I said, okay, that's a good idea. I'll do movie reviews. So the very first movie that I ever reviewed was Seattle Superstorm, or the second was Seattle Superstorm, the movie I just posted there. That's my second, and that was my second review I ever did before I knew anything about anything, right? Before I didn't know shit about the movie business. I didn't know shit about it. This is like years ago. Since then, um, as you could tell by the massive viewing amounts, um, people, it's one of those movies that Lady Valerie mentioned that I do that nobody watches because it's not in the main algorithm. YouTube does not look at Seattle Superstorm as something to push. Um, I think it's I'm glad of my review. I went back. I got a chance to talk to the director of the film, and by this time I had learned a lot about reviewing and about talking, how movies are made. And I told the director, I says, you know what, I'm revisiting your movie. I can revisit this movie now with a lot more perspective because now I know what it takes. Before sitting down there going like, yeah, this is a sci-fi movie with some really bad effects, asylum effects. I can see now that I was writing my opinion, but it really wasn't a fleshed out opinion. Now I could watch this movie, and I did. I rewatched it. It still has some bumps and bruises, but for one thing, I learned it wasn't the director's fault. It's not always the director's fault. Sometimes it just happens that way. The script, he's only directing a script that he's been given. So it's only a certain amount of latitude he has. Um, and I know I should try to look her up again. I wonder what she's been doing. She was great. So I went ahead and I rewrote. I did a video review. I rewatched the movie, Seattle Superstorm, and then I redid my review. And that's the one you see up there. Is the new one. Um, and so if you guys want to take a look at it, maybe I'll get past 60 views on it. It's been up there for quite a while. And I did get the movie at Dollar Tree, so it is a dollar theater movie. But I ended up liking it for the most part. Story wise, it left me a little bit like, what the hell? But as far as the cast goes, I mean, we're sitting here talking about the movie, and it's like I knew two of the names in the movie right away. I knew who they were. And now you look at it, like we were talking about how Esai Morales did that movie. Esai Morales did that movie. And since then, we're thinking like, a lot of times sci-fi movies, it could be a boon or a bust. It could be a sign that you're on your way up or on your way down. And when you saw Esai Morales there, you're sort of like, wow. But there's been a lot of other stars that have done those low budget movies that nobody talks about. Um, but they're so much fun to do. And when I saw Bloodline final or Final Destination Bloodline, I said, you know what? Let me go out there and push this out here again. And maybe someone will watch my review and maybe it'll take off. Oh, shoot, it does that on me, Tom. And I'm not even Flemish. So, what do you think? What do you guys think will happen now? Well, I mean, once the Disney news really hits the mainstream, what do you think will happen now? I suspect that used movies, movies you get from the eBay and Amazon, and I suspect that a lot of those movies are going to overnight. They're going to rise. They're going to rise. People are going to. They're going to panic buy. They're going to panic buy. When they hear that Disney's no longer going to do physical media, they're going to panic buy. They're going to get anything they can get their hands on, and it's going to drive the market way high. But then it's going to fly. That's what I think. Oh my gosh, yes. Yes. Do you guys ever go back and just watch what you guys review? It's it cracks me up. It cracks me up. I when I see when I love looking at review lists. I've done over 450. I've done over 470. Um, the movies that I review and the stuff I review, it's just like, it's so far all over the place. It's all over the place. But I love a good B movie. Um, this afternoon I'm watching. Ironically enough, I'm watching an Australian movie called Storm Warning. I'm watching and reviewing that for Dollar Theater, and then I'm watching a movie called Voices, and then I'm watching a silent German movie called Waxwork. I think I haven't really listened to my. I guess I should start doing that. The only thing that I ever really listened to myself on, again, is some of the interviews and some of the library runs. The library runs are fun to re-listen to because I just shake my head and go like, I can't believe I got that, because it's like, I can't believe I got that. I it's it's crazy. And then I hear all the grammatical errors I make. I speak so fast. I'm saying I hear myself speaking gibberish, and I'm going like, Jesus Christ, slow the hell down. You watched the movie Mad Men for the first time. It was dope. Slasher loved it. Um, let's see. Tom says just saw The Dark Room, Australia 1982 movie on YouTube. Man, I wish they had the Dead Room on here. I would recommend that to you. That's from New Zealand. That movie had a great gimmick too. Wow, that movie had a really interesting. That has a really interesting twist to it. In fact, I've seen some really. I know it's a broken record, but you know what? Fuck it. Um, but fucking IFC Midnight, they find some of the most fascinating movies with some of the most fascinating plots, and The Dead Room is one of them. It was my first IFC film I ever reviewed, and holy shit, it is amazing. It's an amazing movie with a great hook. I'll rewatch my Tammy and the T Rex review because it was a collab with Marty, because I like watching. Well, Trenchy, you know what? I'm glad you came here, because now that I got you here, I do want to collaborate with you, Trenchy. I got something for us, and I think I'm going to show it to you right now, and I want you to collab with me on it, on an episode. So I want to do I want to do a retro tube with you, and let me show you what I want you to do, because I thought about you. I thought about you once I started to do this. I promise you're gonna laugh. So Trenchy, so RetroTube is basically, we grab TV show, we grab an episode of the TV show, then we talk about it, right? So I thought about this and I said, you know what, Trenchy would be the perfect person to talk to you about it. Let's go talk about Airwolf. I say we talk about Airwolf, Trenchy, you and I. We'll grab an episode of Airwolf, and we'll talk about it. Hey, movie tramp, how are you, sir? How do you manage to store all your pickups? God, would you believe me if I said I don't know? I have a lot. I don't have the storage, the real pretty storage. I don't have that. Most of mine are in boxes or milk crates or what have you. I have or the infamous closet. Um, yeah, let's do that, Trenchy. I thought that would be fun. I thought that would crack up your friend Ellen. Yeah, I have one major shelf, and that is, well, two, I guess, and then the rest of it is just anywhere I can store it at. It's not pretty, but I pretty much know where everything's at. Um, and I divide them too. That's the other thing I do. The only thing as far as storage goes is I try to divide them from Blu-ray and DVD. But otherwise, that I have no idea. I should really try to do something about that, actually. Hey, Marty, how are you, sir? We're just talking about you. Yeah, I thought for sure when I saw that, and when like I was so surprised to see Ethel talk about Airwolf. I had never seen a woman talk about the show, and so she did it. I was like, wow, that's so cool. So I thought, well, you know what? We could talk about it. We could do an episode. Now, in 2 weeks, on the 26th of April, um, we will be reuniting once again the IFC Midnighters, uh, and we will be led into battle for the first time by Jen from Jen Reviews from the Graves. She's going to be leading us forward, along with the mighty Mary Wilson, myself, and Ben, aka Cadaver Club. We will be talking about summer of '84. Summer '84 on the 26th of April. That is a Shutter movie, if I'm not mistaken. It's a Shutter movie. We have been filtering in some Shutter movies into our show because Shutter and ISC are sister companies. In fact, they've done a lot of co-producing as of late. So we have been doing some Shutter movies as well. So Jen will be leading us into battle on the 26th for the first time, and then you guys get me. And I'm not sure what I'm going to spring on you guys, but I have an idea. It will be good. Yeah, I've heard. I'm going to watch it this weekend. Let's see. Marty mentions my view is that streaming sites are never consistent with their catalog, so it's not so it's still important to keep physical media, DVDs, Blu-rays, yeah, like the VHS. I think people want to keep them because they want to have control of what they watch. And they don't really want to be. Nobody likes it to when you go like that's happened to me twice now on Tubi of all places. I've gone to do a movie that I'm supposed to watch for a review, and it's not there, but it was there last week. I mean, there's no warning. Leaving soon, leaving tomorrow, whatever. And it's one day it's there, the next day it's not. I sort of like to have the idea of actually having the movie on hand so I could talk about it. Ah, now Now, Tales of the Crypt, is this supposed to be getting? I think that's actually one of the series that's actually supposed to be getting a 4K. Wow, I wonder how long we're going to continue to say that it's going to get a 4K release. I bet you a lot of these movies, I mean, they ain't going to get 4K releases anymore. Not at least not from Disney. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's horrible. Let's see. Yeah. Catch you later. Hell yeah. Oh, Malcolm McDowell. That was the first time I ever saw him as the bad guy. I was like, oh shit, he's the bad guy. It was like because I had watched time after time, and I just who didn't fall in love with Malcolm McDowell and Mary Steenburgen in that movie? I don't know anybody who didn't. I was crushed when they found out they were divorcing. I thought they were the golden couple back then. And they did a commentary on time after time, and there's a scene where they're sharing ice cream together on at a restaurant, and Malcolm McDowell said that he knew that's when he fell in love with Mary Steenburgen. It's an awesome story. And she went on to marry Ted Danson, and yeah. Oh my gosh, Shenchi, that's a great movie. That's a great movie. It's one of my very favorites. And I didn't see Clockwork Orange till last year. So the first time I ever saw Malcolm McDowell was in a movie called Oh Lucky Man, which had to be like the sequel to A Clockwork Orange, but I didn't know anything about it. And all I remember from that was it was a little spicy. I was like, oh, okay. I saw that, and I saw the Tin Drum really close back to back, and it was like, this is sort of spicy. Yeah, it's a really good movie. Let's see. So Blue Thunder, man. You know what? Do you have gosh, do you have the series by the does anybody have the series? Now that's a tough one to find. Uh it came out as a TV show, and they had James Ferrantino replace Roy Scheider, and Dana Carvey still was in the show. I think he was a regular. And then they had Dick Buckus and Bubba Smith. It only lasted like 13 episodes. It didn't make it through a whole year. Man, back then, people back people back then would you go back and see the ratings. People today would kill to have Blue Thunder's ratings back then. Would kill. They would look at Blue Thunder as the renaissance of bringing back linear TV. Um, he acted naked. Yes, Caligula. Right, right, right. Caligula. Yep, I got that one too. Yes, David Warner. God, he was so good in that. Uh, who was a better bad guy? Um, I mean, if you had to square out with one, who would you rather square out with, David Warner or Alan Rickman? Man, they played great villains, but of course, Alan Rickman played some great heroes too. How often do I take a notion to watch a particular film and can't find it on streaming? Yes, see now I'm with that right there, especially older flicks because our friend here, God, you're gonna have to show me your name because I don't want to call you Tramp. Oh, you know Trampus. Okay, I'll call you Trampus. So Trampus there. Besides him, if anybody knows where I'm getting Trampus from, drop it in the comments. So he's right because he does awesome Western reviews. I love his channel for that. He reviews. He's very much a man of my own heart when it comes down to reviewing when he reviews. Nobody reviews old westerns on a consistent basis like Trampus here. I love that. I lo- no, not Bonanza. I'll give you another hint. I don't know if this will help or anything, but it does. And I'm saying this even though I do love Have Gun Will Travel, but this Western TV show had the greatest theme music ever. Let's see, Charles Dance is Austin plays some. Yes, Bruce Payne plays some great villains. Let's see, Gunsmoke. No, not Gunsmoke, but you're naming some quality shows. I will give another hint. This show was different, and the fact that the main character's name was never mentioned on the show, never. He had friends. There's a supporting cast, but his name was never given on the TV show. Uh, oh my gosh, you're right. He did play the bad guy. He was great as Twine. That guy, I was bummed out when he went. He was great. He stole every scene he was in. Uh, well, maybe our friend Trampus can help us out. uh, wow. Bruce Glover was also great in Alien. Yep. Brian Glover. Yep. Let's see. It's hard for me to go into some of those Western shows, especially I have to give another. I'll give, yes. You know what? You go back to those old shows. Um, I tell you the one show I went back to recently, and I'll be dropping an episode on RetroTube, which I should actually drop that down on you guys, my playlist, so you guys go over and say hi. I'm gonna do that because I can. In fact, Trenchy, this is good for you right here, buddy. So this is what we're doing. If you come over and hang out with me and do Airwolf, this is what we're doing. Um, oh, come on. Really? You should get this easily. Trampus? Who was Trampus? And what main characters was his name was never mentioned on the show, and it has the greatest theme music of any Western show. Oh, that's a slam dunk. But that the Westerner is that's a good guess. But the Westerner only lasted 13 episodes from Sam Peckinpah. So here's what I'm doing. If you guys want to go over and take a peek at that, um, this is a Retro 2 playlist, and you guys can go over there and support it if you can. If you want to be part of it, uh, just find me, leave a comment like on the last thing I drop on that Oh, right. Me and Casey did Buffy. So if you guys want to partake of this, and I do have a few westerns. I do have a few westerns we could go to. Um, Drop a note saying, "Hey, I want to do RetroTube," and it's only about a 30 to 40 minute, maybe a little bit more. Like for a half hour, it's like a 30-minute show. For an hour-long show, it can get up to 45 minutes to an hour. All we do, we record it. We record it, and then we launch it. So yeah, I've had a lot of fun so far. So far, we've done 32 episodes. 29 have dropped. I got 3 more that are coming up. But what I was going to mention is I watched The Addams Family for the first time in forever, the 1964 version. It's really weird going back and watching that show now. It's interesting. Um, it's a fun watch. It's a fun watch. Steals Lurch and It, who are one and the same. They stole all their scenes. Anytime that Lurch was on screen or Thing was on screen, it was amazing. Um, and Ted Cassidy played both. I did not know that. He played Lurch and he also played Thing. Okay. Ah, it's very cute. But you know what? They actually had one with a little bit that plucked on your heartstrings. It was actually pretty damn good. It was the best one it's the best one I've seen so far. But I didn't review that one. I'm gonna save it. Some of the episodes that I'm reviewing, I'm saving until I get a bigger audience because I want them to be entertained. But I really did. I really liked. I really enjoyed watching the Addams Family. Oh my gosh, they were so young back then. You had Carolyn Jones, John Aston, Lisa Loring, who should have been a screen queen. I don't know what happened to her. She should have been a screen queen. She was drop dead. She grew up to be a drop dead gorgeous girl. Holy crap. Um, Ken Weatherly was there, who uh, played Pugsley. They even had some commentary on some of the episodes that I got, and the narrator's asking like, so how did you guys get along, as kids? And they're like, well, we were kids, we were 8 and 6, so you know sometimes they would have to separate us because we'd be fighting. Rod Serling, yes. um I have not been able to find that yet. I have not been able to find that. I have got the Outer Limits. I mean, I got the Twilight Zone. Um, I got a lot of Twilight Zone, but I do not have any Outer Limits. Oh no, I take it back. I don't have any Revival Outer Limits, but I do have the first season of the Outer Limits. And I am going to get to that, and I'm going to get to Alfred Hitchcock Presents. I like the episode we did for our Twilight Zone. I made sure that I did not do one that Anthony had already done, because Anthony Fever Dreamland Theater, he is the master of the zone. So I made sure that we did not do one that he had done. Yeah, mine too. Mine too. I'm looking at this trend sheet, man. I'm trying to decide whether we should be brave or safe. What do you think, man? If we do safe, we could do the first 3 seasons of Airwolf. But if we wanted to be brave, we do the 4th season, because the 4th season. That would be fun. That would be a fun show. Okay, I'm gonna give this up because I'm gonna feel bad about it. But the show I mentioned the best theme music ever on a Western show. Uh, Character's name was Trampus, and the main character's name was never mentioned on the show. Never mentioned. And the show I was talking about is The Virginian. The Virginian. So that starred Doug McClure, James Jury, and James Jury played the Virginian, and that's all he was ever known at. His name was never given onto the show at all. Um, and of course, the greatest theme in any Western series, definitely the Virginian. And I'm saying that as a have gun will travel guy, but I know greatness, and the Virginian theme is the greatest. Uh, Oh my gosh. Yeah, we might have to we might you know what? We should show the fourth love though, because honestly, it is so universally hated, Trenchy. I don't know a single Airwolf fan that ever said anything good about the fourth season. But what happened was Jan Michael Vincent was deteriorating. He was just he was disintegrating. He was so deep into his addiction, his drinking and drugs. They just couldn't go on with him, and so what they but the show was within range of a syndication. So what they decided to do was to come back and do a fourth season to get enough episodes for syndication. So the cast on paper is not bad. Um, Man, he died. Shit, he died from more than just cigarettes. That's for sure. He, I think he died of diabetes, if I'm not really mistaken. Either that, or alcoholism, or cancer, or emphysema. I mean, it's one of the saddest stories too. He had it all. Jan Michael Vincent had it all. He had leading man looks. He had charisma. Everybody liked him. I mean, even in the mechanic, you're still rooting for him. Even though he kills Charles Bronson, you're still like, okay, he did that. Yeah, he deserves what he gets. But you know what? Yeah, I still like him. But for the fourth season, the cast on paper is not bad. Michelle Scarabelli was really a really good actress. She ended up doing Alien Nation, and then you had Durant Van Davies, who played in Forever Night. He played the he was the lead in that show Forever Night. That's another show I'd love to find. And then you had Steve Van Dyke, who was who played he played Jan Michael Vincent's Stringfellow's brother, and he was the son of Dick Van Dyke, and he went on to do Diagnosis Murder. All competent actors. Probably Garrett Van Vliet. Oh gosh, I'm killing his name. He was probably the most well-known name when the show went on, because he had already done Forever Night, I believe. But the producers of the last season, if they could cut a corner, if you asked them to cut a corner, they would cut 10. The show was so bad. The effects were so bad. They reused stock footage up to the yin yang. It's almost like they people were not joking when it said they really spent like maybe like 5 7 other than the cast cost. They look like they spent maybe like $1,000 on every episode. It looked so cheap. Um, yes, Ernest Borgnine. Yes, and see, they fucked him. They fucked him, Ernest Borgnine. When the show was going to end, they he didn't want it to end, or they could have brought him back. They could have back Gene Bruce, but they didn't. They wanted to clean slate. So they killed Ernest Borgnine's character by using a dummy and a wig. Stuntman. They had a stuntman wear his hair, and they filmed it from behind, and they killed off his character. People do not like the fourth season of Airwolf. They hate it. They hate it. Oh, do they hate it? No, no. Airwolf was a kick-ass show. It really was. And I know a lot of people said it was a one-trick pony, but actually the stories weren't half bad and they actually made sense. And that's the reason why there's always some action going on. I love what Airwolf fought, but sometimes man, they would throw some shit out there at them, like wait a minute, you expect to take Airwolf down with a P-51? Come on, dude, or a biplane? Come on. It's like that part of the bad guy get up there, bad guy get up there with a prop plane. It's like you do know that helicopter can go over Mach, right? I mean, but they have some really good episodes on there. Um, some really good ones with the adventures. I tell you one thing about Airwolf that really surprised me. It's one of those things where we talk about comedians doing dramatic roles. Well, there was a comedian named Artie Johnson that was very popular in the '60s. He did a show called Laugh-In, but he was very popular in the '60s and throughout the '70s. You find him on Love Boat or Fantasy Island. I mean, he was known as a comic, and they cast him in Airwolf, but the role was a serious one. Boy, he was so good, and I didn't even know he had done I didn't know he had been on the show, and I watched this episode. It's one of my favorites. I was like, wow, this guy really could really he could haul the coal. Uh, let's see. If the pony is really good at the one trick, and who cares as long as it's engaging and entertaining. I agree. I never found Airwolf to be one trick. I thought it was really good. I thought the stories they came up with were interesting and engaging. Probably the only thing I would ask for like in terms going back to if you remade Airwolf, is the fact that don't use as much stock footage as they did. I mean, Bella Rizzo used tons of it, and that's the only part that really hurt the show, because every week you see the same shit. The stock footage. The shooting of the missile hitting the side of the mountain. It's the same one you saw every week, and people notice that. Fans can notice this. They notice that. Like every time that missile hits the mountain, take a drink. You'd be fucked up by the end of the episode. That would be a great book to read. Borgnine was a real workaholic, great actor, could do tough, but also breathtakingly tender characters. In fact, yes. In fact, he won an Oscar for that, for playing Marty, uh, playing a soft-hearted, very soft-hearted guy. And of course, us horror fans, and thriller fans, we know him as the Cabby, and Escape from New York. Hey, you're Snake Plissken. I thought you was dead, Snake. Let's see. Yeah, they had to change that up a little bit for the A-Team. Um, if like if the one, it's a great trivia question. It's a great trivia question. But how many people died on screen in the A-Team? How many people are actually shown dying on the A-Team? It's a question that nobody will get. Nobody gets it. It's one of my favorite trivia questions I ever heard because I never even thought about it, but it's true. How many people ever? Because there's always people implied that they were going to get killed, but they never died on screen. On screen, how many people died on the A team? Actually, Trenchy, you would be right. It was one person, and it was from the first season. It was the old guy, Lieutenant Ging, who was the lieutenant was chasing him. The cop was chasing him, and he needed the mission. I think back to Vietnam to rescue his son or something like that, and he was the only man that could clear him, that could clear the A team. Unfortunately, and he said that he would. He said he'd clear him if they would help him, and they did, but he got killed before the A team could help. Yes. Oh, oh, was he killed? Okay. Yeah, they killed the guy who could have saved him. There's another series that came out that had the same kind of really dark ending like that, and that was Magnum PI. That was shocking. Where they ran across a former Vietnamese, like a Russian guy, and he had done torture on Magnum's men, and they finally caught him, and the guy didn't think that Magnum would kill him in cold blood, and he does. It's like, yeah, he's watching the sunrise. He knew he was busted, but he says, I'm just gonna enjoy this sunrise. And he says, I think Magnum goes like, this will be your last one or something like that. And then he punches his lights out. Hmm. Let's see. I wish they kept Triple A Karen on the team, on the team. She was good. Remember, I thought she fit well. Was that the first one or the second one? Was on a 18. I know that the first girl, Melinda Kalea, well, not really a shocker, but she didn't get along with George Papard. But then again, George Papard was infamous for not getting along with anybody. Okay, yeah, okay. She played the first girl, so that was oh gosh, I think that was Melinda Kalea. They did come back with another girl. You're right. She was good. But George Papard always had a hard time working with co-stars. If you can find that up online. But yeah, he struggled. He just good actor, but very I mean, he tried to pick on Mr. T. I was like, wow, I wouldn't do that. Well, it's going to be very interesting to see some of the reactions we'll be seeing on the tube pretty soon. I'm sure, even as and we're doing this stream, I'm sure by the end of tonight, there will be a few of our channel mates out there that are talking about the physical media. Disney shutting it down. Um, yeah, I guess I would try to do. If you're a hardcore fan, I would try to. This sounds sort of silly, but I would try to write down a list of the Disney movies that you really, really want. Like and then keep them aside and look for them. Like we always do. I will do this for anybody. If you send me a list of some Disney stuff that you need for your collection, I will keep that list with me. And when I go to the library, I will find it and I can get it for you and I'll send it to you. The only thing I ask for is just the postage. I won't charge you for the disc itself because I'm only paying a quarter for it. But I will send it to you. The only thing I ask is just for the postage. So that's what I could do for you for Disney. Um, but as far as but that's it's gonna be very interesting once that ripple starts hitting people. Uh, yeah, I hate mine too. I hate auto connect on my phone. All right, tomorrow night for on 8 questions with, because I know you guys asked, because you guys want to know, we have singer-songwriter David Martinez will be here with us tomorrow from Texas. He is a prolific singer-songwriter, and you do know how much I do love that. So he will be here tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. So come on by. There's going to be some music involved in it. He's going to sing some of his songs from his albums. So come on out and hang out for that. Uh, next week we have and we're back next week too on the 21st, Tuesday the 21st. We have Matthew Mark Hunter. He is a prolific filmmaker. He makes micro budget films. He has a lot of fun. The movies are, they're shot on video, and some of them are shot on video. He has done a ton of work, and he loves it. So we're gonna go talk to a true Renaissance man, and Matthew Mark Hunter, and on the 21st at 8 o'clock. On the 23rd, we'll see the return of one of our favorite actresses. I have not had her on in a couple of years, actually. So this will be her first time back, but she is a lot of fun. Her name's Mia Katz, and she'll be here on the 23rd. Now we're going to be talking with Mia. It's funny as hell because I saw her in a movie called Sorority Sister Massacre or something like that. And she plays this little. She's not very big. She's very petite, and but she comes and she sounds like a damn drill sergeant. Made my ass laugh. I was laughing my ass off. I'm going, who knew that such a little pixie could have such a voice like that? But she'll be back with us on the 23rd. I'm so looking forward to catching up with her. She is now in the theater. So not only is she a screen queen, but now she is also doing live theater. So we're gonna have a lot to talk about on the 23rd. On the 28th, we have actress Mindy Doherty will be here with us. Mindy Doherty will be here with us, and we'll be talking about her career. She's an Army veteran. She's an author, an actress, and I'll be talking with her about her career on the 23rd. And in May, on May 28th, this is the one show I have in May. On May 28th, we have director Will Colazo Jr. will be here with us. I have never had Will on the show before. I know his work. I know his ethics. I know his, and I someone who I wanted to talk to with for quite a while. He also too is an indie horror director, and we'll be talking about his new movie coming out. He's got a couple of really fun movies coming out, and the one we'll be talking about mostly will be the Pizza Dead Man, the Pizza Dead Man. Great poster for it too. All right. See, Tom, yeah, Zelly was definitely your favorite one. That's right. I will reach out to the publicist, though I doubt I could probably. I'll see if she's on Facebook. I have never seen that movie, by the way, Tom. I have never seen that movie in the wild. I thought for sure that'd be a movie that the library would drop down to us, but it never did. I thought for sure it would, it never did. I never got a copy of it. All right, boys and girls, that's it for us. Thank you so much for coming in and hanging out with us. Do what you can to protect your physical media, and Trenchy, we'll find each other, and and of course, don't forget the ISC show, the 26th of April. That will actually be on Ben Cadaver's Club's channel. He will be hosting Jen from Reviews of the Grave, and that's awesome. I can't wait to see it. I'm so happy Jen is doing this with us. I think she'll make a fine night because they're all fine. And like I said before, man, if you guys want to do RetroTube with me, come on out. Let's talk about it. Glad to do it. I got a ton of TV shows that we can talk about. Getting more all the time. Somebody's got to stop me from doing that. But thanks for hanging out with us, and we will talk at you soon. Peace.